All right, let's jump right in. Today we're diving deep into some excerpts from Moving from the Third to First World Countries, a Caribbean perspective.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a how-to guide, right? For anyone thinking of making that move from a developing country to a first world nation, the UK especially.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The book hones in on the UK experience.
But it's not just, about the immigration stuff, visas and all that. This one goes further.
It's more about thriving. I
Oh,
mean, not just surviving, like really making the most of the opportunity.
totally. We're talking finances, culture, daily life,
Yeah.
like how to actually settle in and flourish.
There's even a section on the stock market. Can you believe that?
No kidding. I mean, it's pretty comprehensive.
Right.
And it all starts with that first big hurdle, arrival. The author's story about landing at Gatwick Airport. It's super relatable. You can practically feel the nerves.
And the excitement.
Right. But that's where being prepared really comes in. The book, it doesn't mess around. It's like, know your customs regulations, and I get it.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a box to tick. Those documents, they're your ticket to a smooth start. Otherwise, you could be facing a huge setback right away.
Can you imagine, after dreaming of this moment for so long, you get held up at customs? Just because you didn't have proof of where you're staying or enough money?
It would be devastating.
Totally. And the book, it gives you a checklist, like specific documents to have ready, which is honestly so helpful.
It is like having a seasoned traveler holding your hand every step of the way.
Exactly. And that practical advice, it just keeps coming, especially with finances. The book, it's like opening a local bank account is non-negotiable,
Yeah.
like essential for daily life,
Makes sense when you think about it.
trying to navigate everything without a local bank account. Talk about a headache.
Oh, for sure. But it goes deeper. The book encourages you to be savvy, shop around, compare interest rates, fees, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and it assumes you know the basics of banking already. No time wasted on explaining what a checking account is.
Exactly. It jumps right into how to make your money work for you in this new setting.
And get this, it even challenges some assumptions about, how things work in first world countries. Like, did you know it suggests trying to haggle, even in places where it's not really the norm?
Really? I wouldn't have thought of that.
It's like bring your own cultural knowledge to the table, right?
Yeah.
Might just be surprised.
That's fascinating. It's about being resourceful.
Totally. And speaking of adapting, the book also delves into this whole world of tech and communication.
Oh, that's huge. It can be a minefield for newcomers.
You said it.
Yeah.
Especially those premium rate phone numbers. The book straight up warned you about them.
Yeah.
So you don't rack up a crazy phone bill without realizing it.
Oh, yeah. Those can be sneaky. It's good to have those reminders.
It really is. Because even in a first world country, you can still get caught out if you're not careful.
That's so true. And that same caution applies to the internet as well. The book talks about those email scams. They can be really tempting, especially when you're new and maybe a little vulnerable.
Absolutely. You're figuring things out, trying to get settled, and suddenly there's this email promising you easy money or some kind of quick fix. It's easy to see how someone could fall for it.
It is. It's important to remember those basic online safety measures, like using good antivirus software and being careful about what information you share.
You've got to protect yourself in the digital world just as much as in the real world.
For sure. So we've covered arrival, finances, staying safe online. It really is a holistic guide, this book.
It is. But what about those things that really make or break your experience in a new place? Things like understanding the local customs, building a social life, figuring out how to get around.
All those less tangible but equally crucial things.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into next time, how this book helps you navigate those aspects of settling into a new country. Stay tuned.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
All right, so we're back, diving deeper into this whole idea of moving from a developing country to a first world one.
And we've touched on those practical things like, arriving, setting up your finances, staying safe online.
But now it's getting into the really interesting stuff. Like, how do you actually fit in?
Yeah.
Culturally, I mean.
Yeah, because it's one thing to check off all the boxes, right? Get your visa, open a bank account.
But feeling truly at home, that's a whole other ballgame.
Totally. And the book, it gets this. It talks about the lingo.
Lingo.
Yeah, but it's more than just like learning the language, right?
Right. It's about those subtle cues, body language, how you say things, even humor.
Like what's funny in one culture could be totally off in another.
Exactly. And the book, it gives you these examples, like common situations where things can get lost in translation.
It's kind of like a crash course in cultural sensitivity, I guess.
Exactly. And the book, it really emphasizes how important this is, especially in professional settings.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you can't communicate effectively, you're going to hit a wall.
Not just with work either. Building relationships, making friends, it all comes down to understanding those unspoken rules.
It's like a constant learning process, right? You're always adapting.
Totally. But let's not forget the fun part of adapting, too. Exploring this new place, all the excitement that comes with that.
Right. But the book, it also talks about how that initial excitement can fade,
Hmm.
you know,
Happens to a lot of people, I think.
and that's where the whole idea of balance comes in, right?
The balance.
Yeah, like finding activities you enjoy, things that help you connect with people.
Like sports.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a great way to meet people, stay active, have some fun.
It's a good reminder that even though you're in a new environment, you still need to make time for yourself, those things you enjoy.
For sure. And, speaking of taking care of yourself, the book also touches on something pretty interesting. It's about, well, body image and self-esteem.
Oh, wow. That's pretty deep.
It is. And it makes sense, right? You're in this new place. There's all this abundance of food, different eating habits.
Yeah, it can be easy to fall into those unhealthy patterns.
Totally. And the book, it encourages readers to be mindful.
Yeah, like cook healthy meals, stay active, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's not just about physical health, right?
It's about mental and emotional well-being, too.
Yeah.
Managing stress, all that.
Because adapting to a new culture, it can be stressful, no doubt.
It can. But stress can be a good thing sometimes, too. It can push you to grow.
That's true.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need a little help, right? And the book, it talks about this too. It's got a whole chapter dedicated to seeking help, finding resources,
Resources, like what kind?
like the Citizens Advice Bureau, advocacy groups, all sorts of stuff.
So it's emphasizing that you don't have to go through this alone, basically.
Exactly. There's a whole support system out there.
But you've got to be proactive, right?
Yeah. Do your research, find the right resources for your specific needs.
It's good to know that that safety net is there.
It is. But the book, it's not just about the challenges either. It's also about, celebrating all the amazing opportunities that come with living in a first world country.
Opportunity.
Yeah, like access to world-class education, healthcare, a whole range of cultural experiences, things you might not have had back home.
That's true. It's about seeing the move as a chance to grow, personally and professionally.
Exactly. And speaking of growth, let's talk about something that's probably on everyone's mind when they move to a new place.
What's that?
Finding a place to live.
Ah, yes. The age-old question, rent or buy?
Right. And the book, it dives into this.
Did it take a sigh?
Well, it acknowledges that a lot of people think renting is like throwing money away.
That might be right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it also presents renting as a strategic option, especially when you're first settling in.
Makes sense. It gives you flexibility, right? You can explore different areas before you commit to buying something.
Totally. But for those who do want to buy a home, the book breaks down the whole mortgage process.
Oh, that can be so confusing.
It can, but the book explains it all, like all the terminology, the steps involved.
It's like a guide to navigating the whole financial maze.
Exactly. It's about empowering readers to make informed decisions.
And that empowerment, it carries over into other areas of life too, like understanding the legal system, figuring out transportation, even online shopping.
But the book really covers it all, doesn't it?
It does. It gives you practical advice for every aspect of daily life.
But it's not just about, surviving in this new place. It's about thriving.
Thriving. I like that.
And a big part of thriving is, being financially secure. Which brings us to a topic that, well, it might surprise you.
What's that?
Investing.
Investing. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to explore next time. How this book encourages you to think about building wealth, managing risks, and even finding those unconventional opportunities.
Sounds fascinating. Can't wait.
Welcome back. So we've covered a lot of ground, right? From those first steps after arriving to finding your place, making connections.
Yeah, really getting settled in.
But now let's talk about something that, well, it's kind of key to thriving anywhere. Financial security. And the book, it doesn't shy away from this at all.
Oh, it dives right in.
It does. But what's interesting is it recognizes that for a lot of folks moving from developing countries, the whole idea of investing, it might be new territory.
Makes sense. It's not always part of the financial landscape everywhere.
Right. So it starts with the basics, like saving, budgeting, building a solid foundation.
So like a financial literacy crash course almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tailored for those who might be coming from a different system.
That's smart.
And then it gets into the stock market.
Stock market. Wow.
Yeah. but doesn't present it as this, like, scary, risky thing.
More like an opportunity.
Exactly. It breaks down all those complex terms like
Mm.
stocks, bonds, dividends. Makes it easy to understand.
So it's demystifying investing, basically.
Totally. Empowering readers to take control of their finances, build for the future.
That's awesome. But does it stick to just the stock market?
Nope. It encourages thinking outside the box, too. Finding those unconventional opportunities.
Unconventional. Like what?
Well, it mentions something called arbitrage betting.
Arbitrage betting. I've never heard of that.
It's basically placing bets strategically to guarantee a profit no matter what the outcome is.
Wow. Sounds complicated.
It is a bit more advanced, but the book explains it well. It's like, finding those creative solutions, being resourceful.
So it's about more than just playing the stock market. It's about a mindset.
Exactly. It's about innovation, thinking differently.
I like that.
But even with those unconventional opportunities, the book, it still stresses balance. Managing risk, being smart.
It's not about get-rich-quick schemes, then.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
It's about long-term thinking, making smart choices, diversifying.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
That's the idea. And then it gets really interesting. The book ends with these, like, philosophical reflections.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's this question. Among us, who is there that truly knows the most efficient path to our accession?
Whoa.
It is. It's like challenging that idea of there being just one right way to achieve success.
It's different for everyone.
Right. And then there's this line, remember, money is an idea away.
That's thought-provoking.
It is, right. It's like, it's not just about hard work, it's about mindset, being open to new possibilities.
Like limitations are often self-imposed.
Totally. And then the final message is simple, but powerful. Do good and good will follow.
Nice.
Yeah. Success isn't just about personal gain, it's about making a difference, contributing to the world around you.
Leaving things better than you found them.
Exactly. So from those practical steps to the philosophical stuff, this book, moving from the third to first world countries, it really is a guide for anyone making this journey.
It's like a roadmap to not just surviving, but thriving.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And for anyone listening who wants to learn more, you can find a link to the book on Amazon. It's in the episode description.
Definitely check it out.
And if you'd like to support our team so we can keep bringing you these deep dives, there's info on how to donate in the description too.
Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the content flowing.
That's right. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.